Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the No Field Podcast. We have a very special guest here with us today, Andy Thomas.
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Thanks for jumping on, man.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Back with the boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Andy was kind of part of that very beginning of the conversation of the podcast.
Actually, I remember when we actually started the conversation with the podcast, he was actually right there with us, like talking about it.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I was thinking, no way we do that. This isn't going to happen. And he's like, let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
He was the positive
Y'all
backer.
Are the man. Y'all are the men. This is great.
Yeah,
You
for
talk
sure.
about something, you see it to fruition. This is sweet.
Pull a little closer, just a tad bit. You don't have to be that close.
Good there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right there.
Good.
Right there. All right.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I mean, this is great. I watched your guys' first, however many you've done so far. This is sweet.
Yeah.
Great topics.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is what I feel like's changed everything, going from the plain white walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went
This
from
is sick.
we looked like we were in a prison to
Yeah,
we got some color.
It's the evolution of no field. It's just a little.
Yeah, we started off a little rough there.
That's good. Shout out Ariel.
Yeah, Ariel was great. Ariel hooked us up
That's
with the wall, and she got us a couple things. Wally brought the signs, which were great. You know,
Yeah,
we
this
put
is
it
sweet.
together. It was great. It was awesome. But the big thing we wanted to do is kind of, you know, for our viewers, kind of tell us a little bit about Andy Thomas. You know, start from, you know, even the high school days. You know, where you went to high school, and then
Yeah.
kind of let's work up from
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. So I'll even just before that, I grew up I was born in San Diego. And then we grew up about, 45 minutes north in a town called Murrieta. And that's actually where I went to high school. I played for a couple coaches at Murrieta Mesa. The last 2 years at Murrieta Mesa, kind of the development years for me when I really kind of took off was Bryn Wade. Played at Concordia, played pro ball. Was a great dude. He kind of gave us this thing. We were 5-30 my sophomore year on varsity. Horrible. Like not even sniffing playoffs, not even sniffing really any wins.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in our junior year and just randomly was like, "Hey, we're going to be champions. Like you guys are all champions." And we're looking at him like, "Coach, we're 5-30. We're nowhere near champions. Like we're awful." You know, had a couple guys that could play, but ever since the day he got there, junior year all the way to the end of my senior year, he was like, "We're going to be champions." So our junior year, we go, pretty close to 500, 17-17, something like that, maybe 20-20 right there. Had a decent year, and we get a couple guys that transferred and just kind of started to build a little bit of momentum. So going to the senior year, I'm catching. I'm the only D1 coming on the team. We got a couple guys going to Arizona Western, and a couple guys playing some other places, JUCO and stuff like that. And we go 30-4.
Wow, what a turnaround!
Yeah.
It's a huge.
And it was
turnaround.
crazy too, because our head coach, he was a little crazy in a good way. We had these things called automatics where, if it was 2-1 count with the runner on first, it was automatic hit and run. Runner on second base, nobody out, automatic bunt until you were out. So if it was 0-2, you're bunting.
Mm-hmm.
First and third play, we ran a still stop play. And if you ever at any time, my junior, senior year, if you struck out on 3 pitches, you were pulled. Did not matter who you were. Did not matter who you were facing. So the idea for him was like the buy-in, right? The like, hey, we got to get bought into this. So guys start taking to it, and there was fights about it. Our right fielder, Justin Randall, was pissed. He struck out in a big game. We were playing at Lake Elsinore Storm Stadium, and, he struck out first inning on 3. Bryn Wade, Justin, you're out. Next guy in. After the game, they hashed it out. But it was that type of vibe. Like it was, we're going to buy in for culture. Especially at that age, you really needed to buy in, and then the players ran it.
Mm-hmm.
After we kind of all bought in, and we just got a little momentum. We'd never beaten anybody in our league before. We were the opposite of undefeated in league.
Right.
We'd never won a league game when I was there. So our senior year rolls around, and we lost 1 league game. We were 14-1 or whatever it was, something like that, 17-1, something like that. And we took it to playoffs, and there was an article written in the local paper that was like, Murrieta Mesa makes playoffs first time in school history, blah, blah, blah. 250 million to 1 odds to win the state championship. Something like that. Like crazy. We were all like, yeah, that's probably right. That's probably right. So we host opening round. We were, 3rd or 4th team in California at that time. We host the first round. We beat a team 1-0. on a walk-off suicide squeeze or something like that. The play
Beautiful.
that was just like so high school baseball. You're all about it. Guys were pumped. We win that one, get a little momentum. Next game, 9-0. And we're like, okay. So then we get the draw of going to Orange Lutheran on the road. And if people who aren't familiar with Orange Lutheran, they're like the 1926 Yankees. Like they're the cream of the crop high school program. So we go and play them, and there's a little bit of smack talk back and forth. They don't like how we do things. We're the new school, they're the old school, and we handle them like 8-3 or something like that, and we just embarrassed them. They had in their pregame talk. They were talking about where their next game was.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like
Beautiful.
We had a little chip on our shoulder. So we go play them. We beat them. We handle them. We're having fun on the bus ride home. We get our next assignment. We're playing at Long Beach State. We played West Ranch. We go 11 innings, and we walk them off, or maybe we were the away team. So whatever it was, we won. Close ball game. So we get to the state. We call it state championship, whatever. It's like the southern section in California. We're Division I, biggest schools, the cream of the crop. And we get Harvard Westlake, who is private school, $75,000 a year to go there, downtown LA. They get all the big boys. Anybody who's worth anything goes to Harvard Westlake. And we go another 10 innings with them. And we're the visiting team, and we won. And it was like a story that you just can't write any better.
Yeah.
It's a magical run. The entire town of Murrieta's at this game. Like, everyone's like, holy moly. Mesa's in the championship. We got to go check this out.
It's big time.
So we win. That was good. I committed to Pepperdine my junior year. Head coach Steve Rodriguez and his assistants went to Baylor. I made the decision my junior summer to transfer my commitment from Pepperdine to Baylor. I go out there my freshman year, and we're loaded. We're loaded. We got talent out. I still think to this day it's one of the best recruiting classes. We had 5 first-rounders in that class, just crazy, crazy talent, or in that team, not that class. But anyway, get there. I don't play much my freshman year, break my hamate just before season. I get, maybe 50 at-bats. I did great. I was like 450 and 20 hits or something. It was great. A couple triples. I'm not a fast guy for those of you who don't know me, but I had a couple triples, which was cool. Start sophomore year, catcher by the name of Shea Langoliers is the starting catcher for my freshman, sophomore, junior year. I'm not playing over him. No chance. He's a catcher for the A's right now. One of my best friends, though. We bonded. Great time at Baylor. Sophomore year, I'm at first base. Junior year, I'm DH first base. I had mono at the beginning of the year, so it kind of set me back out of first base. And then COVID happens, and we're like, we're actually not that good that year. We actually had kind of a crummy team. But we go off. They let us know, hey, season's canceled, and I'm all over the place. I just started my master's program. I was trying to get into law school. I was trying to do some other things to kind of, insulate myself in case baseball didn't work out. And so they let us know, and I think it was the fall of 2020 that we're going to get our next year back. So I end up deciding, hey, let's go after this master's, go back for another year. If you get drafted, cool. If not, we'll go to law school, bing, bang, cool, call it a thing. Well, I go off. I think I hit 350 or 360 with 12 or 15 with 70 RBIs, just did the whole thing, caught every game, literally every single game. And that was that year. So I get picked up. Mariners called me. I was actually working out at a camp at Baylor, and I got called by Scott Hunter. And he's like, hey, we're going to use our 5th round pick on you. You're going to be a Seattle Mariner. And ever since then, life just flipped upside down.
Yeah.
Crazy. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm really doing this. This is exciting. So I get drafted that year. Take a little time after you get drafted, you go out to the complex league, played a little bit. And then I got sent to Modesto, California, played probably the worst 6 weeks of baseball I've ever played in my life. We're in Fresno, California, and our manager's like, hey, Thomas, come into the office. He pulls me in there. And at this point, I'm so serious when I say this. I thought he was going to release me. I thought he was going to be like, hey, Thomas, you're done. You're playing you're horrible. You're batting 125, no extra base hits, 2 pass balls on the day. I'm like, oh, man, this is a tough go.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, you're going up to high A. I'm like, holy moly. So I get promoted mid-season. First year, I'm like, man, I'm really doing it, huh? No. And finished the year in Everett. That was in 21. In 22, I played most of the year in Everett. And on the trade deadline in 22, I get traded to the San Francisco Giants. And yet again, for the second time now in 2 years, my whole life got flipped upside down. It's just, anytime you think you're comfortable, get comfortable being uncomfortable. So it was actually the Giants high affiliate was in the same league as us. So I just packed up my car, went to Spokane, Washington, and joined the Eugene Emeralds. And it's always weird when you get traded, man. You walk into the clubhouse and you don't know what to do. There's no playbook on how to handle these situations. So I walked in, tried to be as nice as I could, all that stuff. Ended up playing decent. Next year that was 22. I go to the fall league that year. Played horrible in the fall league. Could not have played worse. I think I had like 3 or 4 hits and maybe 30 at bats. Get sent the next year with the Giants to AA, which was Richmond. That was 23. Had a decent year. I think 12 bombs, 235, 240, which for people listening, averages in minor leagues are a little different than averages in high school and college. So take a 250 hitter, and that's probably a 350 hitter in college. Yeah. So I do that. Had a decent year, blah, blah, blah. 24 rolls around. I get sent back to Richmond. Didn't have as good of a year. And then in the December of this last year, I got what's called Rule 5 to the San Diego Padres. And that's kind of where we're at now. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's been all over the place, but it's been really good.
Hadn't been boring, huh?
No.
Doesn't sound like it's slowed down enough to be boring.
No. There's, it's funny because the like mundane times are the bus rides and the sitting in the, the hotel lobby playing cards or the locker room. That's the best times.
Yeah.
And those are the things that you find your like decompressed time. You can have a conversation just like this with anybody about anything. So those are the best parts of it.
Yeah.
The worst part's obviously the struggle. The game is so difficult at that level.
Yeah.
Every single player on the field is a big leaguer, and every single person is trying to end your career. So it's a little different, like, vibe.
Yeah.
But,
it's a dog world.
It is, man. It is. In a good way.
Yeah.
I think it's healthy for it, and it needs to be that way.
Competition.
But that's kind of my journey, and
that's good. I'm sure your high school, your favorite moment was your senior year. I mean, you flipped completely. What's your favorite college season or story or?
Can't be a UT moment.
Oh my well, listen, here, I got one for you.
Hey,
speaking of UT, I'll throw out my boy here.
Freaking bury him.
Listen, there's so many good moments. We won the Big 12 championship tournament in 2018. That was my sophomore year, which was unbelievable. We were, I think, fifth in the conference, and we did it. We had a good run at the end of the year. We won our last 26 of 27. Nice. We got hot. We played good. So that moment,
culture.
Yeah, that one moment was probably the best. But I would say my 2021 fifth year was my best season. Like just personally, leadership, managing the staff. They're all so different. Yeah. They're all so different. Freshman year was great. I learned a lot. And then sophomore year, I played a lot for the first time. Junior year, I DH, so you had to learn that role. And then COVID was just different. What is happening?
Yeah. Almost, I mean, we talked to Kobe Seltzer about, his experience with COVID. I mean, it completely turned the sport world upside down.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you go from some people got canceled, right? And some people, like the major leagues, they played, but they played with anybody in the stands at all.
Right.
That's different. I mean, you got to play different with that. Your mindset has to be different.
It was weird, too, because I know we've heard this term a lot, but like we were like in uncharted territory. Yeah. So like a season hadn't been canceled before. We were told, hey, go home for a couple weeks. We'll get this thing back rolling in a couple weeks. We ended up getting home, and they're like, hey, season's done. So like all of a sudden you're just like, okay, now what? Do we get another year? Are they going to do what's right for the players? They ended up doing what was right, which we were shocked with. But, it's just little things like that. The other moment that sticks out in my head is, let's see, I think this was 21. Whatever it was, we were playing Texas at home, and Ty Madden was on the hill. And for those who don't know, Ty Madden is an absolute weapon on the mound. With the Pirates, just an absolute dog. 5 quality pitches. He's got a hammer breaking ball. He's got a cutter. He's got the changeup. He runs his 2-seam. He blows his 4-seam. All sorts of stuff. And we prepped for it. We were ready for him, and it showed. We tagged him pretty good. First 2 guys went double, triple to start the game, and I was batting third.
Yeah.
And in timeout, he was getting his fastball over, and we ambushed 2 heaters early. And I'll never forget, because he went 9 straight sliders to the next 3 hitters, 3 consecutive punch outs on 3 pitches. And it was just he got punched in the face and then punched us back. So we were up 1-0. Ended up having a great week, and I think I had 12 hits, one player of the week that week. But it was just great. It's always good to stick it to UT, man. It's always good. I know it hurts you, Coach, but it's always good to stick it to UT.
Everybody wants to swing at the king.
That's
though.
right. Yeah,
That's
when
how
you're
it
the
goes.
big dog and you got the logo, everyone's got to come for you.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I got-
those are probably the two moments: the Big 12 tournament and then playing really really well against Texas.
I got something to
Here
say.
it comes. Here it comes.
Just one time. Can we just have one episode where you don't bring up that crappy orange team?
He played in the Big 12 conference. We're going to get a story or two related to Texas.
I mean, this is about Andy.
Hey,
You're still making
Listen,
it about you.
Hey, on the flip side, we got Texas pretty good that weekend, but in 2018 we started Big 12 play 0-6. Our first 3 was against Oklahoma, and they had every person known to mankind who could stop you on the mound. They had Jake Irvin. They had all these horses. And their outfield, by the way, was Steele Walker in right, Kyler Murray in center, and Cade Harris in left.
Yeah.
If any of you don't know those 3, those are the 3 fastest people on earth. Like literally nothing
Pretty close.
hits the ground out there. So we go to Oklahoma, we lose 3. We had some injuries on the mound. Next weekend, we had to play UT in UT. So we went at Oklahoma, midweek on the road at UT. Terrible 7-game stretch. And we get our teeth kicked in. I mean, it's cold, it's blustering. Cody Clemens hits balls 900 feet. Like we're just not ready for that yet. And it was that moment after that bus ride. So kudos to Texas, but it was that moment after that bus ride where we were like, we got to change something. Yeah. And we ended up going right after that bus ride. We went 26 out of
26 out of 27. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. So it was actually Texas, I think, who gave us the motivation to really let it rip.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's great.
Dang it. Take a breather, man.
Hey,
You look worked up.
Yeah. Texas was the number 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament that year, too.
yeah,
We don't play well in the Big 12 tournament. We never
Listen,
play well in a conference tournament.
I think I know
apparently
why.
you don't play well in Omaha lately.
Hey, Coach, I think I know why.
That's
that
fun.
year, so how the Big 12 tournament works in Oklahoma City is there's 2 hotels. There's the 5, well, it used to be, everyone's invited now, but it was the 5 through 8 seed got the Red Roof Inn, and the 4 through 2 seed got the Hyatt, whatever it was.
NBC Suites.
And when Texas got there, they were at the 4 Seasons.
Mm.
So I think whatever, I don't know if it was the 4 Seasons, whatever it was something that was like, we're at our own hotel. We got our own thing going on.
Yeah.
So everyone heard that, like you said, everyone wants to beat the name, but we were like, these dudes are at the best hotel. They're getting the best food. They got this, that, the other. They're wearing their pants the right way. And we're like, we got to stick it to them. And we did.
We probably deserved that one. That was bad.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good time. It was really, really fun to be a part of those days.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, man. When you a while ago you mentioned that law school was potentially part of your path, and it just makes complete sense to me because when you and me get together and the debates and the conspiracies start going, listen, it's easy to get guys riled up. So you definitely know how to talk and control a situation. I mean, the way you are with your words, it's amazing.
By the way, I'm going to have to Google mundane when we get out of here. Just know that's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Law school was on the horizon. I really wanted to do that. I had worked in COVID, actually. My roommate's dad had a law firm up in what's that town? Frisco, up in Frisco. He worked right on TPC Craig Ranch and was nice enough to offer me an internship. And I kind of got the law juices flowing. I learned how legal practice worked. I went out on cases with them. They did environmental law. And so I went out there and did a bunch of that stuff with them. And it was great. It was great. So that kind of sparked hey, maybe you should take the LSAT. Maybe you should get into law school. You could be a pretty good environmental attorney, make good money. And that whole realm. And, I like to argue.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it was a good fit back and forth. I was watching how, professionals went about their business. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You run a classy game of trivia, too.
Oh, I was about to mention that
For those of you at home, when we have our strength and conditioning program, Coach usually has a little trivia segment, and it's class. It's pure
I
class.
appreciate that.
I probably learned more in strike being here in trivia than I did in college.
Hey, kids are looking over at you like, Coach. I'm like, dude,
I don't know.
your guess is good as mine, man. This is a tough question.
Yeah, Andy will ask something, and the kids will be scrambling trying to find out what the answer is, and I'm like,
You have to Google it.
I know what it is.
I'll tell you where that comes from a little bit. So growing up, my family both parents very smart in different ways. Mom's more studious, smart, and really knows a lot of stuff. And my dad's got a lot of feel, a lot of feel. I know we're on the No Feel podcast. He's the opposite. He's got a lot of feel, street smarts. He's a cop in Lake Elsinore. But every night we'd watch Jeopardy. Every night, didn't miss a beat. We'd all try and compete who can have the most right answers.
There you go.
And so watching it every night, from the time, I don't know, 6, 7, we put on Jeopardy and you just listen, you hear things. And you're like, I'm probably the king of useless knowledge. Mm-hmm. None of it's, other than like a trivia session, none of it's.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out somewhere and apply, anytime I do anything, if I'm, one day applying for a job, it's not like, hey, who was on the mound in 1968 with Yankees versus Reds. It's useless, but it is fun for a little trivia.
Yeah, and well, the little riddles too get you.
Yeah.
Those
Those are some bus stories. Those are learned along the way. Like, 12-hour bus ride from who knows where, Richmond to Portland. We've got to occupy our time somehow. You can only sleep so much,
Right.
So guys would come up with creative ways to kind of keep people busy. And some of those ways were some of those riddles that we did with the kids this last strike session. Like, try and get their brain processing a little bit. And they, it's great. I think it's really good for them to like try and process information. Yeah. And if they can't, does that say something about their baseball career? Like, are they going to be able to command a field one day to be able to be like, hey, we just got punched in the mouth. Someone scored 4. How are we going to process? How are we going to be okay on the mound to make the next pitch? So I think those little things might actually help, even though they're totally not correlated.
Yeah,
absolutely. My favorite part is once we get towards the end of strike, we'll do like our trivia abs and stuff. But once we get towards the end, the guys that worked so hard for so long, we want to do something fun for them, but still have some sort of punishment for a losing team because, we have to create a competitive nature. And I love the debates.
Oh, those were great.
The debates are hilarious. It goes from, this team, you're debating LeBron's the best. This team, you're debating MJ's the best. MJ's the best. And then, is a hot dog a sandwich? And then here we go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's fun with those situations because we all agreed. We were the judges. We all agreed it wasn't about who was right. It's not about right. It's about how can you get to an argument? How can you process, all right, they just said something. I'm hearing that. How can I rebut that?
Yeah.
And I think that process is really fun for me.
Yeah.
I'm sure my wife hates it, but that's how I process
it. It's so fun.
I'm sure,
So fun.
Yeah, that was great. Those were great. And the winners of those, every time we did those, were the people who had the better argument.
Yes.
It wasn't about, I think the LeBron team won, or maybe it was him. Whoever won, it was because they had a better argument.
Yeah.
It wasn't about, who we felt was better.
Yes.
The kids argued and they made crazy points, but they were great.
Crazy points,
man. You, some of these things you think you know where they're going to go, and they
it comes out of nowhere. You're like, what's
great?
The heck? Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so we gave you a shout out in the first episode, and it really came out to our logo with the palms up.
Palms up. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, basically Trent told the story of. Kind of why we do the no feel and then why the palms up, and you were the palms up guy.
Yeah, multiple coaches in my career have said that. Steve Rodriguez, the first one at Baylor, and then Corey Elastic was our hitting coach in Richmond the last 2 years. He was a hitting coach in high A and then double A for 2 years. And his biggest thing was just no palms up. Palms up means you're not taking accountability. And so in this game, a lot of times it's easy to go, oh, what's that about? Like palms up, your palms are up. That obviously means nothing good is coming out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think with especially teaching these kids that, like, hey, don't palms up me. There's no palms up here, but just right here, palms in. And so a couple coaches said that, and it's a feel thing, right? So as soon as you can realize, like, okay, I'm going to take accountability even if I'm not wrong. Huge lesson to learn. Lesson to learn. It's so much good can come from that if you just take accountability. Yeah. So many times in the game, so many times in friendships, so many times in relationships, you just have to be like, that's on me. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to just, hey, that's on me. I think it shows a pretty big maturity level.
Yes.
No doubt.
Absolutely. So, and everybody in here, you guys, we all coach these kids. And you know the kid that does this versus the kid that does this.
Oh, absolutely.
And for anybody listening, you want to be the one that points at yourself. Just keep that in mind. You always don't ever want to pass blame to anybody. There will be plenty of times to be able to pass blame. Baseball is not one of those things. Definitely not.
One is crazy with those kids too. Which one actually ends up being a player?
100%.
It's easy to see
Yeah.
from a young
Almost
age.
directly correlated.
Yeah.
If a kid can take accountability, they're going to play.
Yeah.
They're going to play. It's just, I don't know what it is. There's some magic involved, but the ones that take accountability, they usually have it figured out.
No doubt. We had I actually had a kid that I hit with a couple years ago, and he got sent up to play with a little bit higher level, different age group. And I asked him, hey, how'd it go? You know, did you do good? Did you have fun? Whatever the case may be. And just the biggest point the finger at himself answer that I've ever heard. He said, Coach, absolutely not. I had 10 at-bats, 10 strikeouts. I was terrible.
Love it.
And I'm just like, you have a chance.
Yeah.
You had a terrible weekend. You have a real chance to be a player.
Yeah.
Instead of, he could have easily went, oh, well, I'm playing up, or, oh, I don't play that level, or whatever it is. He straight up just told me, oh, I got manhandled. Beautiful answer.
And you know what? That's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yes.
Listening to this, that is okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
You suck some weekends, that's all right.
Yep.
It will not be the last time you suck,
Yep.
I promise.
No
No.
doubt.
Last thing I'll say about that is we were in our head coach in college told one story about the palms up thing. Our coach just wanted us to take accountability, whatever it was, just try and take accountability. And I won't use the language that was used, but basically what happened is a bunt coverage got messed up or whatever it was, a pitch, bunt coverage, blew, threw it away. And our coach starts blowing our guy up in the dugout, like, you know, this, that, and the other. And the kid just finally looks at him, takes off his hat, slams it down right in his face and goes, Coach, I effed up. And all of a sudden, our coach was like, all right.
We're going to be all right.
Yeah, and then he walked away. And all of us were like, oh, that's all it takes? All right, cool. This is great. You take a little accountability to actually go somewhere. It was a great story. So,
Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah,
part
it's
of
awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a big part of what we
I mean,
do.
speak up, dude.
Unbelievable.
Don't let him run over you.
what are we doing? What are we doing?
But no, I mean, like, that's the biggest message that we're all trying to convey to these kids too, is that the mistake isn't the problem.
Mm-mm.
It's the response to the mistake and the ownership.
Yeah, and I know
That's
it
a great
sounds
point.
corny, but like it's really true. It's not about, you know, how many times you fall. It's about how you react.
Yep.
Right? Everybody in this game is going to get told at some point you're not good enough, or this isn't, you know, something where you don't like. The way you respond to it is the key.
Yes.
You always have an option to how you respond. If you want to take the route of the poor me, that's on you. You want to look it straight in the face and be like, okay, how do I get better?
Love
So,
that.
The kid that I coach the most, or you know, that I go at the most, are the ones that'll hold the accountability, like take the accountability. Because I will go and say, hey, I know when I'm going to say to you, you're going to sink in,
For
and
sure.
you're going to say, hey, let's figure this out,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
The ones that aren't are the ones you're just like, hey, couple words and then you move on type
Sure.
thing, because you know they're not going to.
Yeah,
It's one ear, one out the other.
if you don't hear from a coach, you should start to become worried.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The minute that you stop, that means that they have lost interest, and
No
that's
doubt.
take some accountability.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's been a good journey.
Yeah.
It's been a
Yeah,
good journey
I
so
mean,
far.
You're part of the podcast in a way of, you know, part of the logo a little
No
bit.
doubt.
So,
Yeah, no
you know,
feel.
it's a big thing. Yeah.
Man, you got no feel. I love that comment. That's great.
It's said between no feel and palms up. It's said probably 1,000 times
A
a day
week.
No
here.
doubt.
A
And
1,000.
it almost is like just saying, hey, now. You know, I come here in the off season. It's like, man, that kid's got no feel. And it's like, yep, we know.
Well, shoot,
Yeah.
Trevor walks in with the same crappy hat every single day, and nobody's ever like, hey, Trev, how's your day? It's always like, you guys got no feel, man.
No feel, man. No, hey, Chad, I want to say out of the past 7 times I've seen him, the past 7 have been, God, man, that hat is terrible. Right away. And I'm here for it.
And you know what? Going back to our earlier point, that means he cares.
Yeah.
Yes.
That means
He
there's a
cares.
stick in
Yes.
there somewhere where he knows Texas is hurting him somehow, somehow, some way.
The day I walk in and he says something nice to me, I'm
You
going to
should
be
be
like,
worried. Yeah, you should probably walk out.
what's wrong with you?
No doubt.
Am I getting fired?
Am I done
You
here?
should be
We
worried.
have the thermometer. You all right?
All right.
So we're gonna do our kickoff on this. You want to take it, Trev?
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is our inaugural episode, right? First time doing
Yeah.
the pick'em. What we're going to do is aim for 3 games a week. We're going to try to have our guests pick them too and kind of keep track of their record. But the main thing here is me, Wally, and Slike are going to compete against each other all the way through the World Series. We're going to start mixing in some MLB.
This is a great idea.
At the end of this year, whoever has the worst record, We're leaving it to the comment section to decide the punishment.
We love that.
Nothing physical.
Legal.
No,
Yeah, we're gonna keep it.
Let's get physical.
But no, so what we'll do is aim to pick 3 games a week, and we'll try to pump that out once a week. And y'all are a big part of that. If you want to submit your picks, we'd love to keep up with y'all's
comments.
picks. But biggest thing is let's get creative in those comments about the punishment, because if I see Wally in a tutu, I mean, my life will be complete.
I need him in I need him in a unitard singing Chandelier.
Yes.
I need some kind of in here with the lights,
Yes.
all of it.
It has to happen. Be creative.
Yeah.
I'm in a tutu in the middle of my lesson.
A grown man.
Oh, man.
What games we got, Coach?
But the 3 games we got this week, we have Auburn at Georgia, Oklahoma at Alabama, and Clemson at Georgia Tech.
Now,
all
are we
3
picking?
ranked.
Are we picking series winner?
Great question. Winner of the series. So none of these should have started last night. Do I need to double check that?
No,
They did not.
No.
No, we're safe.
We're safe.
Good. Yep.
Fresh start.
Fresh
Okay.
start on
Fresh start.
Friday.
So if I can get y'all to do, we'll go this way. Slike first, and I'll get all those written down.
Oh boy.
Lay it on me.
So I'm going to go with Georgia.
Okay.
I think Georgia, I love their closer. He's a psycho.
You're about that energy.
I'm
I
about
love
that,
it.
man. I love it. Little dog in them, right? So I'll take Georgia. I'm actually going to take Oklahoma.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to take Oklahoma is, I think they're playing good ball right now, and they're on the road, which I think one of the better road teams right now.
That pitching's considered.
Yeah,
too.
and then I'm going to take Clemson just because. Actually, I was kind of torn between these, but I'm going to take Clemson because I like their jerseys.
Respect. Love that.
I love the jerseys.
Respect.
Andy.
Yeah. I got Georgia and the Auburn versus Georgia. I think they're the better team. I think they're at home. I think that ballpark plays better to them. And my whole family is Georgia fans. So
I was going to say no personal ties.
go Dogs. You've got to.
Go Dogs.
I can't in any good faith root for Oklahoma ever, so I'm going to have to
Good.
pick Alabama.
Bama's good.
I think both teams are solid. Oklahoma's off to a really good start.
Yeah, they are.
I just think I can't root for Oklahoma ever. I can't do it.
I understand it.
Okay. Clemson, Georgia Tech. I'm going to take Georgia Tech.
Okay.
I like the home teams here. I think that plays a huge factor in college baseball, especially early.
Absolutely.
Later on, when teams get hotter, I think that it can be. I think Clemson probably is the better team, but I think Georgia Tech takes 2 out of 3. I think Georgia takes 3 out of 3. I think Alabama takes 2 out of 3, and I think Georgia Tech takes 2 out of 3.
Nice. Wally.
All right. I have Georgia. Go Dogs. Just manhandling Texas every year. Then I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
That would hurt.
For the sake of the rotation's unbelievable. I mean, you got twins in the rotation, Friday, Saturday night guys who could potentially be first, second rounders as brothers. You know what I mean? They're doing a heck of a job. And then I got to go Clemson. Center fielder's been my boy the whole time. Love watching him last year. Love watching him this year. Big fan of Clemson. So they're gritty. I like it.
And then I'm going to go Georgia. Same thing as you're kind of saying. You turn that game over late.
Yeah, it's
And
over.
it's forgettable.
Yeah.
I love that closer, man.
Gas. Gas.
Psychopath. I'm here for it. Game 2, I'm going Bama. Kind of follow along what Andy said. The home team sort of thing, especially in an SEC environment, for me is big. Justin LeBron, I believe, shortstop. I think I saw 15-plus home runs already. Is that right? It was an absurd.
Yeah, I
number.
don't think you're right at all, but
Let me get you a fact check on that, Coach.
Can we get that? Can we get that for the viewers here?
I don't think you're right at all.
for Alabama?
Yes.
LeBron, last name LeBron.
Oh, man.
I thought I saw. But Georgia had 2 of the top 5 home run leaders in the country.
Yes.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yes.
Good night.
Yeah.
While Coach is looking that up, I'm going Georgia Tech at home. I'm going the Drew Burress effect.
Drew Burress,
The
baby.
Drew Burress effect. Y'all know I'm big on him, but those are going to be my 3. Coach, how many pumps does he have?
Can't find it.
Let me see.
That
Isn't my
Clemson Georgia Tech series, that's a tough one to pick, man.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's
Yes.
Georgia Tech's catcher U. So as a catcher, I got to stick with Catcher University.
Yeah.
They pumped out numerous big leaguers. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are all phenomenal games.
He has 12.
Yeah, not 15. You were wrong.
My bad.
You picked 3.
Still a lot of freaking bombs, man.
It's early. That's
so stupid.
23 games.
pretty good.
Dog.
Hey, and
I mean, it's a home run every other game.
Let's get a wood bat in that hand.
he can
Let's see what he's got.
Okay, before we head out, there was one conversation that was discussed on a college baseball game this past weekend, and I kind of wanted to hear y'all's thoughts about it real quick before we get out.
Yeah.
They were discussing that exit velocities are too high in college baseball. There's too many home runs. They think it's a direct correlation with the bats. What do you feel like the game's in a good place, or would y'all like to see us get back more to the basics? What's the feeling on that?
My feeling is just, I mean, technology is going to get better. I mean, it is, and everybody wants to see the long ball. I mean, that's what it's come down to, right? And I don't think the game's wrong right now. I don't think we don't have to get back to anything. I think you evolve. You know.
I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome too. That's my thought process.
shake it up, Andy.
I've
Shake
got
it
a
up,
very,
baby.
very different mindset.
I knew it was coming.
I think the only reason I said I think it's dangerous. I think the ball's coming off the bat too hot.
Yeah.
So when that starts to become an issue, where do you move the needle? Do you move it? The baseball's too firm, or the bat's too hot? Because that's the only two things you can really do, right? You're not going to move the mound back. You're not going to move anything else. It's either or the bat's hot or the ball's hot, right? And then you start to develop like, okay, well, when a Georgia plays a Prairie View A&M on a Tuesday, that becomes dangerous.
Yeah.
Those guys are throwing 83 miles an hour.
110 exit velos.
110 is like an average hit now. Like these guys are getting close to 120s. Like that is scary.
Yeah.
However, with that being said, I love to see runs scored. So for the viewership and the money involved, I think it's in the best spot it could be. But if we really want to make it more offensive, let's eliminate breaking pitches. But that's just my take.
That's a true freaking hitter.
Here you go.
You want to see some home runs? Let's see how many guys can just throw hard.
Unless you're facing Paul Skeens, probably.
No.
That's
a different.
That's a
beast.
different level there.
Yeah.
I have one. What do you think about the safety bag?
I'm out. I do not like it.
No,
I don't like it.
no.
The play that takes the first baseman behind the bag, how is he supposed to make that play?
Well,
Yeah.
Well, it's just like the play the other day where he slid back into first on a pickoff move, stood up, and his foot was literally in between the two bags, but his toe was not touching the regular bag. He got tagged out because he was on the safety bag.
It's unbelievable.
My question on it is, was there enough evidence to show that they needed another bag, A, and B, the minor leagues and major leagues have made the bags bigger. What's wrong with that?
Why not do that?
I don't understand. I get there. You got their own little protocols they got to go through, but it leaves room for discrepancies like you're talking about. If somebody clips it like this, right? How is that fair? You're telling me that kid's out because he touched that part of the base? That's not baseball.
Yeah.
That's not baseball.
Yep.
I'm out on that.
Yeah,
I'm too.
Man,
I think that here's some last thing I'll leave you with, like with the way the game could be going in the college level is pitch com. For people who are not familiar with pitch com, I think college is doing it a lot better than minor leagues are. Major leagues is doing it great, but college has, you see them wear these wristwatches where you can look at the sign, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
That is the healthiest thing for the game, to speed up the tempo.
Yeah.
You don't even need a shot clock. You don't need a pitch clock, right? So if you get the ball back from the catcher, boom, you look at your sign, cool, got my sign. You can deliver that pitch within 6-8 seconds.
Yeah.
Before, with the sign sequence on second base, right, it takes maybe 5-6 seconds process. That's another 15 seconds. Well, if you do that 150 times a game, both sides of the rubber, that adds almost an hour to a game.
Yes.
So if you want viewership to go up, continue with the wristwatch, continue with pitch com, continue with no signs. It also takes away the stealing of signs, which is great. Nobody should ever have an advantage stealing signs.
Yeah.
And it happens when you give fingers, when you're giving a sign,
there.
Yeah.
it's for sure an option.
Yeah.
I think pace of play has. It's been positive.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
Yeah. And I think that is healthy. Pace of play. And if somebody beats somebody 20-0 and it's a long game, cool.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, guys.
This was freaking awesome.
This was awesome. I like the setup.
Yeah.
Except for the Texas flag and the TCU flag.
Yeah, well, the Bears. I'll take that. I mean, you're in the Big 12, or, you're part of it, so I get it. You're not going to like it. I get it.
You're not going to like it, but you going to respect it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, my gosh.
Big SEC.
I can only say that for baseball for TCU.
Yeah, they had their little run versus Georgia. That didn't go great.
That didn't go very well.
Speaking of Georgia, man, Texas. Oof. Sheesh, coach. Twice in a year, huh?
Oh, man.
Just an embarrassment. No adjustments, bad culture. Coach
So
can't
bad.
handle the spotlight. I mean,
Hey, so for all of you viewers out there listening, before we head out,
Here
if
we
you
go.
want a day into my
Here we go.
reality,
Here it
my
is.
favorite baseball team on the planet since I was 5 years old is 7th in the country and hot as can be. Somehow I still find a way to take some crap about how my football team performed in the fall. I mean, it is April.
Because all we heard all year is, we're going to win the Natty. We're going to win the Natty. We're going to win the Natty.
I'll be honest with you. I got Missouri winning this series versus Texas this week.
I do too.
I'm a huge.
We need to shut this off before we lose credibility.
Huge Mizzou fan this year. Let's go. Go Tigers.
All right.
That's
Well,
great, Coach.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
great.
for coming on.
Yeah.
Anytime you're in town, we can do this every
For
day
sure.
if you want. Just
Yeah.
love having
Love
you
it.
here and talking to you.
Love it. This is great.
One of our
For
guys,
sure.
man.
All right.
All right. Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.